All right, everybody. Grand Rising. We're in the courtyard. This is episode 7 of Make Believe from Everywhere. Grab your books and let's begin. So, episode 7, or like chapter 7, it begins on page 60. Before we begin, I just want to give thanks. I shipped out 3 books last week. I'm really excited for them to receive them. They should have already received them by now. If you haven't already, get your copy, www.swinocountry.com. And thank you for the support, and thank you for tuning in and engaging in, the discussion, the journey. I'm not in the studio right now, as I mentioned before. I am in a different continent. I'm in Africa right now, just, for educational purposes, art purposes, and a whole bunch of other reasons, right? And of course, for, Make Believe I'm Everywhere, book 2, right? So moving forward, I hope you're having a great start to your week. Today is Monday, May 18th, and this is episode 7. So this episode takes place in Bahamas. If you're on page 60, you should see, here's when reality hit. Throughout life, you'll find that transparency is your personal ally in achieving healthy relationships within yourself as with others. So what this pretty much means is, being honest and being truthful with yourself, and as it relates to, your needs and desires, from what you want to achieve in life, your expectations for people and how you want to be treated or adhered to, just the overall understanding that when you're open and honest and transparent and, wholesome, I don't want to really say revealing, but when you kind of let someone in, it's, you're not losing anything. You're not losing any money, you're not losing any blood. If you ask me, you're helping cut the corners and, the obstacles of, being understood, and just you tending to yourself in a way that you need. You know what I mean? You're not pretending. You're being honest with yourself and your needs and your desires. You're not putting yourself in compromising situations just because, you want to please people. You're, taking time, assessing situations, assessing people, and, making determination if this is something that you feel is lucrative for you, healthy for you, healthy for your mind, healthy for your body, healthy for your soul. And it also plays a role in just what you allow into your life as it relates to drama, peace, just how you want to be loved and cared for and cared on. You know what I mean? Me personally, I came to the realization that some roads are best traveled alone, such as this one. This is a solo trip. I am in Africa by myself. There were, people invited and stuff like that, but it just didn't work out. Some roads are best traveled alone. When you're going through like a sensitive time, when you're personal growth, spiritual healing, and everything like that. Outside influences, they have a tendency to kind of hinder, your choices and, your intentions behind what it is you feel is necessary for your peace of mind and your happiness and, your growth. It's sometimes best to kind of lock in and handle things a little bit more on a personal level, like, protect your wishes, protect your desires, protect your dreams, and, certain goals and plans. They're not meant to be like shared out until you deem necessary. Certain things I wouldn't reveal to people unless it's already in motion. Like if it's something that's very new, like almost like a baby, like if it's a baby idea, something that, I conjured up, in my dream, in my sleep, and I woke up and just like, yo, I want to do this, like it's precious to me, you get what I'm saying? So certain information is best to be like kept to yourself, because you run the risk of like, outside influences shaping, just how you carry out your plan. And in some cases, the outside influences could cause you to halt all operations. And then it's like, were you transparent with yourself, or did you allow, society to dictate, not yet, or I don't see it for you, so it's important. Moving forward into Bahamas, because this isn't really much of a long chapter. It wasn't really a long trip. This chapter in itself is page 60 to 65, and it was great. Like Bahamas was cool. I stayed in, it was like part Airbnb and part like, what do you call it? What's the big hotel in Nassau? I forget, but it's a big big hotel. I'll put it in here once it comes to me. But it was a family member at the time. They were really instrumental in the trip and everything like that, and I appreciate them for that. Bahamas was great. The rum cake was awesome. Getting around was super easy. The people were really friendly, and like, they were about their money. Like if the Uber driver says he's coming to pick you guys up at 8 o'clock, he's out there at 7:45 waiting. Like they're about their money out there. And he explained that to me, like, throughout their history and everything like that, and how, from young, like young adults came into their wealth and everything like that. It wasn't all by positive means, but you know, they don't got to want for nothing. You know, Bahamas has like a bunch of different little islands. I think they call them keys or something like that. It's a bunch of different little islands. I checked out Rose Island. I think that's what it's called. The water was super blue. Like you could see the bottom of the freaking water. It was so amazing. The food was great. That's my first time trying conch. Conch is like, you know, some type of crustacean. It looks like the shell. Everybody knows what a conch shell is, I'm sure. Like that's an actual living organism, and it was pretty tasty. Um, yeah, it was an amazing time. It was an amazing turnout. The name of the resort was Atlantis, something like that. That's where like I stayed for like half of the trip, right? And it was nuts. They had an aquarium and everything like that. It was wild. It was for a family member's like 50th birthday, so we got something for him there on the beach. It was really dope. It was really dope. I will say, like, it's an experience I don't think I've ever had before, and it was awesome. I would definitely want to do Bahamas again. I would make it more of like a friend trip, like take a couple of my buddies and we go, you know, rent out a B&B, rent out a car, and you know, see a bit more of the island, because I still feel like there's a huge chunk of Bahamas that I did not get to see. Aside from that, I want to thank you for watching. Like I said, this was one of the more shorter chapters in the book, similar to Miami. This was only like 4 or 5 pages. So with that, there's still more exploring to do with Bahamas. So I hope to go back someday, you know, do a little bit more of my research. I really want to see a pink sand beach. I think when I first caught wind of like pink sand beaches, it was with Bahamas. I had got like a magnet like the day I was leaving, and it had I think it was Paradise Island it had written on it. See, it's a bunch of different like little islands as a part of Bahamas. So it's like there's so much to see. That's why I definitely have to like, you know, check it out, because pink sand they have in Bahamas and they also have in Bermuda. And I was supposed to go to Bermuda. Bermuda would have actually been a part of this book, but it was a hurricane in 2024, and that would have been my first solo trip. But the hurricane ruined it. Yes, you know, it wasn't time. But I want to thank you for watching. www.suenocountry.com to get your copy of Make Believe I'm Everywhere. I'm in Africa right now, working on some things, and thank you for your support, locking in with me, staying tuned for what is to come. I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time.